Well, today, Helen, we've had the occasion to host Dr. David Suzuki and Grand Chief Stuart Phillip, and we're down here at the Moberly Lake Bridge. I'm just wondering how you feel things are, progressing in terms of raising awareness about First Nations traditional use and any issues here at on the Peace River regarding Site C Dam.
I feel like, it's only been 11 or 12 days. Well, I was out here on the 31st, so I feel like it's been moving forward pretty fast. Like, we've already had these amazing visitors, and talking with Suzuki on the way down, and he said, he was here 30 years ago stopping this dam, and who would have thought he'd be walking down the trail with me for the same reason, right? So I think it's getting out there, and the word is getting out there, and people are finding their voice.
So you were commenting on some of your posts and blogs about, you're a descendant of Chief Bigfoot from Prophet River, and feel very much called in your traditional role then, would you say, to, defend the lands and raise awareness about the importance of protecting culture? Mm-hmm. Maybe you can share a little bit about the views in the traditional role and the importance of that for the children.
Well, I think, when this summer when we walked the valley as a family, and we carried like an object that is sacred, and we've had it in our family for over 100 years, and we prayed, and I told all of the small kids, I had them sit down, and I said, you got to understand that you come from a family that stands for what they believe in, and so this is standing for believing that they deserve a good future here, that should they choose to stay in this territory that is their home territory, that there's going to be something left for them, because it's all about that foresight that my great-great-grandpa signed that treaty, thinking about me, and it's thinking about the future generations.
Do you think the average Canadians, in the peace country or right across Canada, really understand what a peace treaty is about and what it can do, what the potential of it is?
I don't think so. And even hearing the stories, and it's hard-won stories that you collect from everybody about the intent of that treaty or what that was like, and knowing that we as Dane-Zaa people, we're a fierce people. I'm Nihao too through my father's side, but through my maternal side, and where we were the last ones to sign the treaty, or my great-great-grandfather was, because he didn't trust them. He said, he wanted to see if they were going to uphold the treaty in the other areas. So he went back out into where the Sikanee is, and they essentially, I was told that they were waiting for us to die off, but we didn't die off. We're still here. It's 114 years later, or 104 years later, after he signed that treaty, and we're here. I'm here.
One of the things that is of interest to us around the peace in the last few years has been the question about water. Mm-hmm. And, the Anchaga River is, the treaty was made between the Dane-Zaa and the Cree so many years ago. Do you think the question about the water values and potential of this dam being used for potentially for trans-basin diversion of water or any of that has been adequately understood or presented?
I don't believe I have a comment for that.
Yeah. Because one of the questions that I have is basically all about traditional use and with sacred water is
water, and then coming down. One of my teachings is to come down to the water, and that's how I care for myself as an Indigenous woman, right? I lay tobacco, I say my prayers, and the thing is that nature is one of our biggest teachers, and that's how our people learn. So even learning from the water and the way that the water moves over the objects and it curves and bends, there's a lot of teachings there that are going to be lost, and I believe in that. We have blood memories that are activated when you're on the land. And so, there's so many sites throughout here that once those are lost, they're lost forever. And I feel like we're losing pieces of ourselves continually to development. And it's just saying, no, we have these rights. We're going to be here. We're going to use them. We're going to keep our waters, keep our land.